There's a group of fireworks hotshots who call themselves GFA Pyro.
I love when my guys get excited.
I get to blow stuff up for fun.
They're a small company. If they want to be number one, they'll have to blow away the competition.
I need more shell now. Let's go.
One explosion at a time.
I'm a pyro. If you see me running, run.
This time on Pyros.
See, you can see people right there.
Sebastian mounts an all-out assault on Vancouver's waterfront. And 2 days, 17 shows.
That was module 11, by the way.
GFA is off the rails.
We got an old break. So that one should be B. Okay, so no, that should be A.
Sebastian Roy is nowhere near ready to shoot tonight's show in Vancouver, but time's running out.
Yeah, there's definitely a problem. Okay, retest. Okay.
A tugboat is already hauling his pyro barge out to the launch site.
Nothing. Okay. I think it's a continuity problem we have here. I think it's created by a bad cable.
The question is, which cable?
Double check line 8.
Lack of continuity means that the circuit is not complete, which means that nothing is going to fire.
Brian hasn't worked with Sebastian before, but they'll have to think as a team to solve this electrical glitch.
Okay, you got that for A, all right? Hang on, checking A.
He looks a little bit anxious.
Where did I leave the papers? Where did I leave the papers?
Your paper?
Okay, so we're doing E.
30 minutes till launch time. Adding to the stress, tonight's audience is a tough one. 1,000 members of an international electricians union.
Yes,
Okay, B, all right.
A crowd of wiring wizards who'll have no sympathy for this kind of screw-up.
E is completely dead.
Okay, I will cut this patch.
Okay.
And go straight at the other one, okay?
All right.
Turns out, all the cables are good.
We're good.
Very good, okay.
So where is the problem? Sebastian zeroes in on one suspect patch box or module.
It's older than me. I don't trust this box. I just want to change the old thing for a new one. Do we have an extra?
We've got 2 extra patch boxes.
Do we have enough time?
Oh, we're going to have to make time, aren't we? We're not even in position yet, so...
The show is at 9?
Yeah.
Seb is gambling the patch box is bad.
Okay, go, yes.
It will take until showtime to swap it out. If he's wrong, he'll be out of time and ideas.
No, make sure.
Patch.
Make sure the system's powered down.
Changing one patch means I have to pull out 45 line. I have to change all of them, but not alone. Eh? What?
How about you pull the wires out and hand them to me and I'll plug them in?
50.
50?
Yeah.
At T-minus 20 minutes, the operation begins.
49.
49. Okay.
No, man, sorry. It was 40 and 39.
The barge stops.
This is the convention center?
Yep. It's the blue thing.
30? 30.
All right.
23, 12, 8,
Ready?
4, 1.
Have you got it connected?
No, give me a second.
All right.
Okay.
All right, standing by for test.
If this new patch box doesn't fix things, Sebastian is going to have some explaining to do to the electricians union.
Okay, retest.
Gentlemen, we have a show.
45 line in 15 minutes.
You want a bump? Oh. This is how we do it in the West,
Copy that, 1 minute away.
It's showtime. The electricians are all ready for a high-voltage main event. Brian will have to fire each cue manually, guided by a pre-recorded voice that runs in sync with the music. The show is going well, but for the Pyros, the launch pad is less than ideal. Space is tight on the barge. So Brian has to sit right next to the exploding mortars.
Very close, man. Maybe too close. I think I have not enough protection between Brian and the shells. When everything goes well, it's good, but if one 6-inch shell blow in this tube,
Burning debris pelts the barge.
we are so close. It's a golden ring. I love it, yeah!
They got hit with some fallout.
They were problem-solving down to the last minutes, but Sebastian kept his cool and made his deadline.
I've worked on some shows that have been fairly tight. I've never worked on one that's been that tight.
Even if you have a problem, 1 hour before the show, stay calm. It's only a blanket. It's not me.
But the limits of Seb's calm under fire will soon be put to a bigger test. On GFA's next job, back in Quebec. It's a week later, at the company warehouse near Montreal. Sebastian has been working hard for days, preparing for a major event.
Yesterday, the floor here was full of mortar rack, and look now, it's empty. It's a lot of labor. It's a lot of mortar rack. I'm tired.
Tomorrow is Saint-Jean-Baptiste Day. In Quebec, it sparks more passion and emotion than any other holiday.
Saint-Jean-Baptiste is a huge holiday for Quebecers.
The celebrations are going to blow the roof off every town in the province. Starting tonight.
When people are proud, they blow fireworks in the sky.
All good Saint-Jean-Baptiste festivities end up with fireworks.
GFA has taken on a huge challenge. Over the next 2 days, the company has to launch 17 different shows. 8 tonight, 9 tomorrow.
It's like Christmas. I am the Santa Claus.
It's crunch time. Sebastian has got to have all the trucks on the road in an hour, and he still has 2 more to load. He's only got one option.
Camille, the lead technician, wants to load his truck by himself.
Camille is a freelance pyro who's eager to make a name for himself at GFA.
You know, Camille is a long-time technician. If Camille wants to load his truck, okay, but please do a good job.
Every truck leaving this place complete.
Sebastian has personally overseen the loading of 8 of his 9 trucks. The only one he hasn't had time to check is Camille's.
Good.
And Sebastian is going to regret it. Saint Jean-Baptiste Day is the biggest holiday of the year in Quebec. For GFA Pyro, it's their biggest logistical challenge ever. Sebastian has gotten tonight's 8 shows loaded and out the door.
Time to go.
Now, he's got to make sure they all go off without a hitch. The biggest show tonight tops off a concert in a park in the suburb of Repentigny. Hugues Lalonde is running this one. He's a jack of all pyro trades, but he specializes in flames.
Did many jobs in my lifetime, but the only constant one was pyrotechnics. You touch it once and it sticks with you for the rest of your life.
Hugues likes a challenge, but this is more than he bargained for. All the other experienced pyros are spread thin on tonight's 7 other shows.
Start with the 4-inch, which are the green ones. So you can
Hugues has been given over 1,000 shells to set up and just a handful of rookies to help him.
Nice shot.
We do need to rely on the rookies, so it's a crash course because it's a busy period.
But I don't have enough 10s.
2 5s make it 10. They have to spot check their work just to make sure everything's plugged in at the right place. So yeah, it's more work for me.
Melanie Bissaillon is a complete greenhorn, and it shows.
Okay, just try to hold it at the end. You get more leverage like this.
I have never drive a nail with a hammer.
Just hold it at the end. And try to hit the nail.
Hugues is 3 hours into his setup. He should be loading shells by now, but he isn't even finished putting up his mortar racks yet. 20 kilometers upstream is the next biggest show, at the town of Terrebonne. The pyro is on one bank of the river. On the other side, 8,000 Saint Jean-Baptiste partiers will be watching. This is Camille's show. His team finishes unloading the truck quicker than expected, and then realize why.
Est-ce qu'il manque plein de mortiers?
Il en manque combien? There are 18 racks missing, I think.
It's even worse than that. Camille admits he's missing 30 racks. He made a mistake loading his truck and shortchanged his own show by almost half.
The mortars are where the bombs are going. So if we don't have any mortar, we can launch the bomb because there's no cannon, there's no anything. It won't launch in the air. Mandatory part. No mortar, no fire.
They call the boss, Maude Furtado, and she calls Sebastian.
We mount.
I don't know what happened, but Camille completely missed his load. He didn't read the right numbers. He didn't put what it was needed in the truck.
It's not good.
They were missing a good quantity of mortars.
Oui, c'est ça.
Too many mortars to be a respectable mistake. I mean, it was a big mistake.
We'll not discuss this today with him, but of course, eventually
Okay.
we'll have a small talk.
I was speechless. I leave Camille to load his truck, and it was bad.
Sebastian was on his way to help with a show at the town of Bromont. Now he's got to race back to the warehouse for Camille's forgotten mortars and drive them 70 kilometers to Terrebonne. through traffic.
Stay calm, Sebastian. Stay calm.
Back in Repentigny,
If I look in the distance, I can see it's coming.
Hugues soldiers on with his rookie crew, showing them how to protect mortars against rain.
Once I know it's solid, then I just flip it over, so I get the glue side out. And then all you have to do is stick your plastic to the tape.
He's getting a lot of teaching done. The work, not so much. Sebastian has made it back to the warehouse. He grabs Camille's forgotten mortars and goes.
Move, people. I need to go at Terrebonne.
Mid-afternoon, Eric Cardinal, GFA's co-owner, stops by at Repentigny to check on Hugues' progress.
Exactly.
And then all fires.
Yeah, exactly. Being part owner of the company, I want to make sure my shows go well.
Hugues is the boss of this site. But Eric is Hugues' boss.
You want me to set him up there and the racks of 5 at the end, or
Keep module 7 at the back. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what you had in mind. It's always hard, you know, when you have two experienced pyrotechnicians on site. He comes in, he's used to leading his shows. I come in, I'm used to leading my shows.
Hey.
Huh?
The bomb came in a bag.
Yeah, so you can take it out. They come like that from the factory. So.
Yeah. It really doesn't hurt to keep them.
Okay.
Sorry, Egg.
Your tubes are dry, don't need the bag. The technicians were getting mixed up from different information they were getting from Eric and me.
Competition showed they'd get in bag every single
Yeah, but if you set up and they're going to stay there for 3 days, of course you put everything in a bag. We're supposed to leave tonight after the show.
Oh, good.
I think that's the plan.
He's a hard-headed guy, so am I, so sometimes he has ideas that aren't exactly the same.
There's too many chiefs, not enough Indians on this show.
Eric decides to give Hugues some space and check in on one of his 7 other shows.
So I'll be back in about an hour and a half for...
No problem.
I'm very confident the work is continuing fine without me.
But the work doesn't continue for long. The rain comes and shuts Hugues down.
On fait dessus, on va faire une corvée. We're going to bring all the product in the truck. We're going to open the cakes, get them out of their wet box, protect the product and the gear first, then think about yourself.
They wait it out in the trucks. Sebastian finally arrives back at Terrebonne.
We made it. Now it's time to work.
There you go.
Camille's people set up the last of the mortars. Sebastian starts wiring and gets an ugly surprise.
Not good.
The numbers marked on the mortars don't match the ones on the plan.
Everything is mixed everywhere. It's...
Here's what happened. Loading fireworks is supposed to be like paint by numbers. The site plan maps out the size and location of each mortar rack. The pyros normally set up all the racks, then mark them with their queue numbers and unpack the fireworks. The crew just has to match the numbers on the shells to the numbers on the mortars. But Camille and his crew didn't wait for the missing mortars. They jumped ahead and started loading fireworks right out of the boxes. Whenever they got shells that didn't have a place to go, they simply renumbered an available rack. The more they did that, the more scrambled the setup became.
Hey, man.
Now the show is a mess, and the firing plan is useless.
At this point, it was impossible to reorganize everything because we just don't have enough time.
It's a big mix-up.
GFA has never screwed up an entire show. But this could be a night of firsts for Sebastian.
The show is at 10, but I don't think we will be there at 10.
Day one of the Saint Jean-Baptiste celebrations is looking like a washout for GFA. The company is stretched to the limit, trying to get 8 fireworks shows off the ground, and 2 of them are headed down the drain.
I would try to keep my smile, but actually I'm pissed off.
Sebastian has discovered a mess at Terrebonne that's put the show way behind schedule. Nothing matches the firing plan.
I'm searching for line 10. The setup was not good, with the queue number everywhere on the field.
Mode has come to help him fix it, but they may not make the show's 10 o'clock deadline.
The load is actually catastrophe because it's not in order and a lot.
Set, Camille. Okay.
Just finding the shells for each queue eats up time. It's 8 o'clock, and less than half the fireworks have been wired.
The show is at 10, but that will be hard to be on time. Much of amateur.
At that public park 20 kilometers east in Repentigny, the concert is on. And as soon as it's over, Hugues' show has got to fire. But he's suffered too many setbacks, and he's not going to make it without Eric's help.
Back to help finish this show.
But that means tough questions from Eric.
So I see some stuff is not completely finished branché.
No, it's all plugged in.
Oh, it is, okay.
Now he wants to check Hugues' work.
We have to really test it thoroughly so we make sure that all those little corrections are perfect.
I don't like testing too much. I have this kind of superstition that if you test too much, things go wrong. We have modules that are not responding.
The computer can't even detect 8 of the modules. Half of Eric's show can't shoot.
I'll go check. I'll go check. If they would listen right away, ask them if all the numbers are right. Module 1 was number 11, so of course it can't work.
He discovers that Hugues' team has misaddressed the modules.
It's a simple switch on the side of the module. You have a display from 1 to 99, and you give him the number you want.
Hugues! That was module 11, by the way. Module 9, module 11. If you work it precisely, thoroughly, I mean, the test, it'll test 100% every time. I mean, when it doesn't test right, most of the time it's a human error.
Hugues tests again. There are still 2 problem modules.
12 and 13. Where are these?
I like stuff to be done correctly the first time, of course, so we don't have to run around the rain and try to find the problem.
Now, the computer says 2 other modules that were fine before have disappeared.
You checked module 17 for Q, didn't you?
We didn't even touch these modules.
17, 18 are the 2 last positions?
Yeah, we didn't touch anything.
Well, just playing with the wires, maybe checking the module.
Linked. They're not even linked.
You want me to go check?
I'll go. I just don't understand because we didn't touch anything from them.
Yeah, but a lot of people walking around might have tripped.
When Hugues returns to the field, it turns out Eric was right.
I see someone stepping on it.
They test again.
Yeah, we're all good. Firepower is 100%, so we're good to go.
Repentigny looks back on track. But at Terrebonne, where the party is in full swing, Maude and Sebastian are still knee-deep in wires.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 line left, but it takes around 10 minutes per line. It's gonna be tight, tight, tight. I don't think GFA has ever missed a deadline before.
This one is written 17, but inside it's actually 26.
Huh?
They work frantically.
Ah non, ligne 30.
Time is running out.
OK, il reste 15 minutes. Hein? We're really late.
There's no choice. It's the call no pyro wants to make. To tell the client they won't be ready to fire at 10 o'clock.
OK, c'est beau. 10.
Well, we don't like to delay shows. That's not our goal, actually. Our goal is to be ready on time.
Downriver, the concert in the park is almost over. Hugues gets ready to arm the system.
And suddenly I get this error message on the firing board. Eric? Where's Eric? Eric? 90 seconds away from firing time, and Eric is nowhere to be found. It's as if he's just vanished. Eric?
You want me to go for him?
Yep.
The last song is ending.
Right now.
But the firing system is still frozen, and the only person who might be able to fix it has disappeared.
I was sad and I got the message, so I came running back.
J'ai fait auto-load. Hold on. Si on était firepower on, man.
Eric tries resetting the system.
Auto-load.
Allez, écoute.
And the error message disappears.
That's the only moment that I really needed him, like that 30 seconds in the day, that's where he needed to be there. And I don't know where he was. Ok, ça roule, on est bon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The first fireworks of the night launch on cue. The shells and comets are firing exactly according to plan.
The rain didn't affect the fireworks, so I'm happy about that.
That's why we do our job, for that 15 minutes of fame. We fired a perfect show on, I think, the worst day of the year. Right on cue, man. Good show.
The little touch at the end.
Exactly. Perfect timing.
At Terrebonne, the show hasn't even started. Sebastian and his team have been wiring non-stop.
We asked them to delay the fireworks display by 10 minutes.
Is it finished, Leo?
I think so, yeah.
It's 10:08.
Tonight, another first for Sebastian.
We're gonna fire the show without testing it because we don't have the time.
Sebastian has never fired a show without testing first.
This kind of thing's not supposed to happen.
It's crucial to test. It's one of the steps you cannot miss. You don't test, you start the show and nothing happens.
But Maud and Sebastian are out of time. It's back in Camille's hands now.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It looks like the Pyros are back on track. So far, their cues are all firing.
This is the reward of our work now.
But then, without warning, the show stops.
Suddenly, boom, nothing. That's the moment where you're terrified because the rest of the show was not gonna happen.
Soon, someone will have to tell the crowds that this year's Saint-Jean-Baptiste fireworks are over.
Such a big black hole, way too long. It looked like if it lasts half an hour.
Hard to believe it could get any worse. And then it does. A 6-inch shell goes off course and blows up on the far side of the river just short of the audience. By the time the show limps across the finish line, the Pyros have had enough.
Terrebonne edition 2011 is done.
But it's not over yet. The fire chief shows up and wants to know what happened.
There was a bomb that fell in the water and exploded right there. So people got afraid.
No one knows what caused the misfire. Human error or a product failure. But Mode answers for it.
I'm the boss of all those people, so I take the responsibility personally.
What a day, what a day.
I'm not very happy about the way the show was set up, no. And I'm not necessarily happy about the result.
You want to know what happened. You want to make sure that this will never happen again.
GFA spread itself too thin on the first day of the Saint-Jean-Baptiste celebrations.
This kind of thing's not supposed to happen.
The company and Sebastian took a beating.
Maybe at the end of this day, I will be out.
This is day 2. The only chance to turn things around. Seb has got to make sure every one of today's shows goes right.
Superman!
He stops in at the small town of Saint-Hubert.
Oh, no.
Where the show prep is looking rough.
Not very good for a connection.
2 Pyros, Frederick and Camille, are doing their first solo job.
Where's the line of 10? Camille, do you know the line of 10, where it is?
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, Fred.
It's my fault.
You set up this motor in the wrong post. Come on.
Sebastian can't afford another Terrebonne. He's got to stay and try to get this show back on track.
During this time, everybody, Maud, Eric, and Benoit are at Bromont, drinking probably a beer and champagne, and I'm here in the mug.
But at the Bromont golf course, nobody's relaxing. Maud, Eric, Benoit, and Philippe are setting up the day's biggest show.
Smile, Phil. Smile, please.
It's early morning, and we know that the day is going to be long.
Eric designed this show. Benoit, GFA's resident artist, is going to fire it for him.
Hey! You followed the plan. I like that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir, yes, sir.
The pyro safety perimeter stretches from one side of the course to the other.
Did it have a meeting with security people, anything like that yet? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Security is a big concern here. GFA's show is turning the golf course into a firing range. Curious intruders have to be kept out, and there are no fences.
On each module, you have 32 connections, and today we have 22 modules.
A new matchbox. Look how shiny and new and all yellow.
No, at night maybe you watch porn, but we watch new module.
Same.
My baby.
It's time for the big guns.
New modules aren't the only pyro porn in tonight's program.
Finish.
GFA is breaking out the largest shells allowed in Canada.
There you go. This is the biggest. This is a 12-inch, 300 millimeter. It's super crazy heavy. It goes in that nice yellow gun that is dry.
Philippe checks every mortar for rainwater. If any of the powder in a lift charge gets wet, it can lose its kick and cause a low-altitude break.
Yeah, the low break means that the shell still gets out the gun, but explode low. So it's gonna make the same effect in the sky, but on the ground.
A low break can actually tip over nearby mortars. Shells could end up firing sideways like cruise missiles.
So if this goes 1,000 feet this way, it can go 1,000 feet this way. Gonna do big damage.
The crowd settles in on all sides of the safety perimeter.
Only standby. 10 minutes before the first shot.
Everyone wants to get close to see the big show. Philippe will be on the lookout for any spectators who try to sneak in and get too close.
Sometimes people don't understand that fireworks is fire. They just want to touch like babies, you know?
Stand rifle. In 15 seconds, first shot.
So it's supposed to go about now, just about now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
From the stands, it looks like this show may be the victory mode and Eric need.
God, it's nice to watch a show.
For a change.
But across the fairway, it's a war zone. The wind is blowing fallout everywhere. Philippe watches for trespassers.
I was just walking around, look, just to make sure everything was all right.
A movement catches his eye. Philippe has just discovered that spectators have broken into the security zone.
You can see people right there.
Their timing couldn't be worse.
We got a low break.
An 8-inch shell misfires and detonates low, almost at ground level.
We gotta go back.
The shock waves knock over a whole mortar rack. They're pointed like cannons.
No. As a war zone, just change from everything mellow to everything hectic in a few seconds.
The The Pyros have got to isolate the damaged rack and shut it down, or shut down the whole show.
C'est le poste 3, là. Ouais, c'est le poste 3.
Benoit sacrifices a whole rack of medium-sized effects.
As soon as I saw those old breaks, I just cancel the queues of this rack.
That lets him keep the rest of the show firing. For now. Philippe still hasn't caught up with the intruders.
Toute la sécurité, t'as tout en place, pas mal.
Oui, 3 personnes qui sont à l'intérieur du périmètre.
Stay there, stay there, stay there.
Anyone inside the firing zone is in danger.
Ciao.
Philippe knows it.
Really had to chase those people away, and that was stressful.
The intruders run, out of harm's way.
People just they weren't the perimeter. I think they got scared.
Saucers. I love those. This is my favorite effect.
The show builds to its climax. Then, Philippe's big guns do their job. The crowd at the Bromont Golf Course gets the best show and the biggest thrill of this Saint-Jean-Baptiste Day.
We ended that show exhausted. A lot of stress, a lot of running around.
The client in Bromont, he loves fireworks. The expectations were high, so seeing him smile while watching the show meant everything.
In Saint-Hubert,
Line 4.
the show Sebastian put back on the rails is a success.
It was a good show and it was a good night.
Show's done.
Reports fly in from the 7 other shows. All go off without a hitch.
Saint-Jean-Baptiste is like a test. You test your boundaries, you test your limits.
Thank you! Thank you!
Given the circumstances, I think we did our best. And I think we can be satisfied. Then if I put Terrebonne in the balance, yeah, no, we need to do better, much better.
Next time on Pyros. Water, wind, and fire. GFA prepares to launch a series of perfect shows. But Mother Nature rips them apart, one by one.
Water cell, get back! Get back!